So, all right, I'm opening up my notes here on the side. Okay, well, first, thank you so much for doing this. I've been meaning to do this for a long, long time, and Knight was the first person that said, "Hey, I'm available. If we could do it if you want to do it this Friday." I said, and he was like, "Yeah, that'd be perfect." So I totally understand that you had stuff going on. No worries. I'm really flexible as far as like people popping on, as long as it's during the stream. So I'm thank you so much for even coming on.
I
Uh,
appreciate the invite and thank you for being so patient. I did not expect to spend 2 hours extra at the DMV.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you said DMV, I'm like, I know that could either go really bad or totally in a different way than you're expecting. So I totally understood, and that happens, So, well, first of all, I've been calling you Night. I mean, do you? And it's weird. I looked up your Twitch right away. I've been following you, which is I didn't know that I followed you. So what do you prefer people calling you like on here? Is Night okay? NightShadowz?
Yeah, people call me Knight,
Hasta
Chandler,
la vista,
NightShadowz.
baby.
Really, it's whatever's easiest.
Okay,
Most
all
people call
right.
me Knight.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, very, very good. Grapple, thank you for the lurk. So I kind of wanted to start just you don't have to like give personal info, but I am kind of curious if you want to tell us like a little bit about yourself. Like I'm on the older side, so I've had like a lot of professional experience in different like creative uh different creative professional circles and everything. But if you want to tell us a little about maybe yourself and maybe how you got to even doing like the creative map work. Again, you don't have to do any personal information, whatever you feel comfortable. You don't have to, dox yourself or anything like that. But I am kind of always curious about people's background, how they arrived at doing that. I would love to hear that.
Yeah. I'm a little newer on the block. I was in college when I decided to like start teaching myself coding.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of like shot my shot by applying to work with Microsoft.
Okay.
And they accepted, and I ended up working in their augmented reality division, working on the HoloLens.
Very cool.
And I was making games with Unity.
Okay.
And doing stuff with them. I ended up stopping with them because I ended up really getting into streaming and content creation.
Okay.
And so I ended up pursuing that. I did that for nearly 7 years. Started Minecraft, went into professional Fortnite, played a bunch of like professional games.
Okay.
Call of Duty. Came back here and I helped open an esports center here in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And while I was doing that, I ended up just connecting with some people that I've always kind of like messed around with making maps and, just staying in the game development.
Yeah. So
world.
So college, did you get like a computer science degree or?
This did sound terrible, but I actually just dropped out because
I think it's not uncommon,
Well, my teacher that was teaching us in my comp sci class is like, if you guys graduate, you can like work for Google or Microsoft, and like those are the big guys. And I was like, I'm already there.
Right.
So I was like,
right.
why am I getting this to go work for a company?
Yep.
That, So I was like, plus I'm getting the practical experience. So I was like, why spend $10,000 plus a year on something I was already going to have?
Right.
So
that's really interesting. Well, that's really interesting that you ended up like in the augmented reality and you're working with Unity. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff I'm sure carries right now completely over to UEFN. That's interesting. That's a really cool path. And I always like to say, like there's no one path to being creative or becoming a map maker or pretty much any industry. But I love how you see people or you meet other people in like the map making community. And I mean, we meet people that are like just turning 18, have been doing maps and creative for a long time. And you get people that are on the older side, like me, that have been doing, a very different professional background. And it's just, I just love how people come from all different like, experiences. And I think that's that makes like the different maps pretty interesting, so that was pretty cool. That sounds like a really interesting path that you took. And that's really nice to hear that. So, all right. So I was asked, so obviously, you have the coding. When you were doing the stuff with the augmented reality, you were working in Unity. Were you doing mostly like coding stuff with that? Were you doing any other like creative or layout stuff in Unity?
So it's actually kind of funny. I ended up becoming more of a project manager.
Okay.
Although I did work with C sharp.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of what taught me more of like the people management and like the practical application skills.
Okay.
Which is actually translated really nice over because, like you said, like I feel like the UEFN community is like some of the most welcoming people. I mean, obviously you have some gatekeepers, but for the most part,
I
if
feel the
you
same
have a
way.
question, you
Yep.
can reach out to someone and they are more than willing to help. And it's really a breath of fresh air.
Yep.
And it's just really fun to develop in this space, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know I've heard a lot of people say that, and you kind of tend to you hear of like the bad actors, you know what I mean? And the bad apples doing some things, but generally the people that I'm connected with, um, you have tons of people that are taking their own time and putting out like amazing tutorials. You have people that are answering questions on Twitter on a regular basis. I know I've hit people up and people have hit me up like in DMs saying, "Oh, do you know how to solve this or that?" And I'm on, like, I wasn't even on Discord until like the UEFN stuff came about, and now I'm on like 50 Discords, and generally people just want to help each other. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean they want to do the work for you, but they'll put you in the right direction or maybe give you some tips about stuff. So I think people have been, I would say like 90% are very open and pretty helpful when it comes to that, which I again, that one more thing I just love about it. I think people do focus on like the negative stuff probably a little too much sometimes, because I think there's a lot of really positive things.
Although it is easy to accidentally bump into the wrong actors. I've had that experience before. But I always believe that if you're trying to actively promote positivity and you're trying to do the right thing, you're gonna fall back on the right, the right tracks.
Yeah, I agree. I it's weird because I haven't really done any partnerships on maps until now my partner Zero Shot Bob, we work together on maps, but I wanted to for a long time, but that was where the one aspect that um kind of threw me, because like for the non-map people who are watching now or listening, like when you create a map, one person, the project owner, essentially owns that map and will get all of the profit from that map. So if you agree to split it, or if you say it's 50-50, or if you agree to, oh, I'll get 25%, it's kind of on that one person's word that they're going to actually do that. Unless you guys form an actual corporation and that corporate entity owns the map, and so it becomes really difficult. And you have to, and when you start doing stuff like that, or even if you're doing like contract work, or some freelance work for someone, you have to be sure that they're going to pay, or that they're going to produce the work. And it gets, I've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, just complain or have problems with someone not paying them for the work or not doing what they said, and that stuff kind of scares me, unfortunately.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so I've been very weary of that. Again, I've been working with, I don't know if Bob's in the chat right now, but I've been working with Zero Shot Bob, and he's like another older creator like myself, and we just meshed instantly. And it's been, working with him has been amazing because we have that level of trust and everything, which is nice. And I would have worked with a few other people, but I was always like, they seem really nice. I just, do I know them well enough to have them be a business partner? I kind of wanted Epic to have an ability for us to make
splits.
Yeah,
yes.
Do splits. You know what I mean?
Splits, please.
Yeah, like how, I mean, you think they would be able to do that, especially because you create the map. Everyone's like a top level owner of the map, let's say, and let's say from the beginning you say everyone, if there's 3 people, everyone gets like 33%, and you lock it in, and it can't be changed. I
never said thank you.
Yo, thank you for the follow.
And you'll never have to.
Yeah, and even if they made it so you can't change the split level, but then at least you're getting your earnings that month, and if they made it so you can't like transfer the map unless everybody agreed.
Come here to
thank you for the follow, Elite. Oh, Elite's here. All right, so we have started, Elite.
All out of bubblegum.
So all right, so yeah, that's it. So yeah, and I agree as well. I hope one day that comes. I feel like Epic is staying away from that because
they don't want to touch.
They don't want to touch. It's gonna it will cause problems. No. You know what I mean? Someone will have an issue, and they're gonna have to get involved. So I think that probably won't be. But well,
There are a couple groups that are actively working on like developing apps where like we could sit down and like work out a contract through them, and then it's kind of like a payment processing system.
Yeah, I've
where
seen that.
they would get the money and they
Yeah.
do all that stuff. Although that gets a little sketchy,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I think that might be a possibility. But I think I think it's probably just better finding someone that you
I would
know,
say, but
yeah.
really, end of the day, it's probably best to find someone you trust.
Exactly.
You know,
it is. It's unfortunate. I hope one day they have splits, but you know, I'm not holding my breath at this point. You know, for it to pop up. So as far as the UFN, did you start working in it like as soon as it was released, or was that a recent thing?
I mean, I would say that we were fairly new. I think we really started developing like 8 months into it being launched. So we weren't day ones.
Okay. And
when creative was first released, I used to do stuff. I did like some custom map stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. So you weren't like, it wasn't completely far. You were already playing Fortnite and building occasionally.
Right.
You know. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's cool. So let's see. I have where are we going? See, I always hate also how we find everything. All right, let's see. Creators. No, where are my creators? All right, so your maps are under Vibrant Realm, right?
Correct.
All right, and is this just you, or are you working as a group with people?
So we do have a group of people.
Okay.
We have Roji Plays. Liability is currently working on our project, and Nerdu TV.
Okay, I know Liability. So
yeah, he's the one who's helped us set up the custom round system that we have for our newest launch, which is FPS minigames.
Nice. I know it's right down there. Very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting. We actually have a major update coming out tomorrow. So this is our soft launched version.
Okay.
Taught us a lot about where the bugs were and what different stuff was, and the update tomorrow is addressing a lot of that.
Okay.
We're pretty excited about it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so anyone watching, before I forget also, so NightShadowz, if you want to follow him on Twitch, so it's Night NIGHT SHADOWZ, and you can find him on Twitch. And then if you're in Fortnite, you could just go and search for Vibrant Realm, which you see on screen right here, and you could favorite creators, so you could give them a favorite also. It definitely helps.
Yeah, thank you.
It helps, and you know, when they create new maps or have updates, it'll pop up on your screen and make it a little bit easier for you to find their maps. So all right, so that's cool. So so are you guys working? Are you guys working like as a full team, or are you coming up with like map ideas and you're kind of having them help you with the map ideas, or is it like all collaborative from that perspective?
So I believe in creative freedom. I feel like finding the right people for the job and then just kind of being like, hey, here's the general idea of what we want to do.
Yeah.
But like, take your, go for it. Put a creative twist on it. At the end of the day, we're building games. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, your players probably aren't gonna have fun too. So that's something we really focus on. I guess I would say I am the head of the team, so kind of the buck stops with me.
Yeah.
If we decide to chop a feature or do something,
Right.
But for the most part,
you guys are pretty open. And are you
much.
guys typically working on like just one map at a time, or do you have like a few projects that you're kind of all like at different levels?
We did a full like 180 on our previous project we were working on to get the FPS minigames out.
Okay.
Which if anybody thinks that they want to do a custom round system and we have 4 mini maps with 4 different game modes that can be played on each.
Yeah.
You think you can do that in a month and a half? Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I think it was about 6 months worth of development time that we crammed into a month and a half.
Okay.
And it has been like all hands on deck getting this thing out.
That's wild, yeah.
We do, to answer your question, yes, we do have multiple projects we're working on. It's just this one is like all time consuming right now.
Yeah, I could only imagine. I think anything with that level of mechanics, you almost always end up with just like a long time of dev time. You know what I mean? You start working on stuff, start working out kinks, and it just takes a long time. It's hard for people to kind of like get sometimes how much time that takes. Not even testing, but just getting everything working and flowing smoothly.
Scope creep too. You know,
Yeah.
like you start working on something, and then you're like, oh,
Yep.
this would be such a great feature to add, and then like all of a sudden you're like a mile off of where you initially started.
Oh, it's crazy. Oh, and I mean, I love being on Twitter, but sometimes someone will post something, and I'm like, if Bob and I are doing something, we'll like, we had our last map that we had was a kind of one of the guessing maps. We pick what side is the right answer, and we did it was which skin is the correct one, and we had options, and we did it, and then we kept on like saying, oh, you know what, some people will get through it really quickly. Maybe we should add like a speed run to it. You know what I mean? And we're like, put that in the works,
like
and we're like,
timer.
and we put a
Yeah.
timer into it, and then we started putting like all different rankings in there, and all that stuff. You're like, oh, that the worst is like we would start testing it. Like, all right, well, I'm not going to run through the whole map every time, so you got move like the checkpoints out to test and everything. All that stuff starts, every little thing starts adding more and more, and every time I see something like on Twitter, I'm like, oh, we could probably incorporate something like that into this, and you're like, well, that will change this. Everything grows it exponentially. It is crazy from that perspective. Are there any types of maps that you personally like kind of gravitate towards, or that you enjoy making more so?
I am an FPS player at heart.
Okay.
Always loved it. Like I said, big Call of Duty fan.
Okay.
Played that competitively. So anytime that combat's involved, you can count me in. Especially with I started in like Halo.
Okay.
That's where I really started with competitive.
Yep.
And so that's what it like inspired us to make our Capture the Flag map. And that I love FPS.
Love that.
Capture the
All
Flag.
right, that's cool. So I mean, I guess you were pretty stoked of that, like the first person, mode coming out, because that kind of fits in with that. Is
I threw a party. I was so
okay.
excited for it.
All right, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I have to we'll go through and we'll check out some of the maps in a minute. But yeah, I hope they continue to refine like the FPS modes and like what weapons we could use, because I feel like that will definitely open up a lot of things for the map making community and everything.
Sure.
I personally don't really enjoy ballistics, but I feel like it's that doesn't necessarily mean I won't enjoy other first person game modes.
Yeah,
that are
ballistic is more like CS:GO and Valorant, so that really is kind of a different genre.
Yeah.
And kind of what we aim to do is more of that arcade shooter like, which is more Call of Duty esque.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that'll be good. So I'll be interested to see some of that stuff. Are there any? Do you want to go in and should we check out some of your maps
Sure.
or anything? Do you want to go into the FPS one first, or?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. Should I put it on private or?
Whichever is easier. We just need 2 people, and so we got that.
All right. So I'll leave it on. I'll put it on private then, I guess. And we could just kind of talk a little bit while we go through it and everything. So while we're loading in and everything, are there? I know there's like a lot of there's always a little turmoil, like for the people, again, the non-map makers. There's always a little turmoil in the map making community going on. Is there anything that you would think that you'd like to have changed in the community, or things that are kind of like really bugging you or setting you off? I'm not going to mention any specific topics, but I'm curious to see if there's anything that you guys have, hope might change or, get modified.
I don't know. When I was first in the space and I was looking to bring people onto the team and do stuff, going through that application process and figuring out who actually knew what they were talking about and who was kind of just putting up a facade is very difficult.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is unfortunate that occurs. Very blessed, like I said, to have the team that I got now. They're incredible.
Yep.
But that was definitely some growing pains that we experienced initially. So I wish there was like not like a like kind of like a rating system, but like a better way for teams to kind of give like kind of maybe like better applications.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, or even like a I mean, I don't want to say like a rating system, but if you could,
Right.
if you could have other
Right.
people, I think as we get to know other people, like when there's people that I know and they say, "Listen, I really recommend this person," when certain people say that, I will generally believe that, you know what I mean? But it is hard when you're just looking at people's, like, if you're looking at someone and you want them to, and you're looking at, let's say, what a map that they did, it's hard to tell really what they've done in it, and what they didn't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I
Especially when it comes to like. All right. You want to vote?
Yeah.
Pick the game.
All right. I'm gonna pick cargo. Oh, capture the
Okay.
flag. Oh no, I'll do. Oh, too late. I did cargo.
Oh. All right.
All right. So first of all, it looks really cool in here. I love all the collectible pickups. They look really nice. The rotating signs
Thank
I
you.
love.
Here, if you follow me, there's actually, so this is a multiplayer game, so you do need multiple people to be in to play.
Okay.
But while you're waiting, we set up this really cool fun target area.
Nice.
That grants you gold as you're playing and improving, which then you can use that gold for a whole bunch of different stuff.
Nice.
And then you just hit this exit when you're ready.
Very cool. I'm just looking around really quick. Yeah, it looks really cool. Nice.
And we just pick a team. What's your lucky color?
Let's see. I'll go blue.
Sweet.
So, yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I feel like again, I feel like with the people that I've gotten to know in TZ was saying, anyone want to play Squid Games 2, Octa Games 2? Does Norrin want to? We might be able to do it a little bit later, TZ.
And you'll never have to.
I feel like, again, the people that I've gotten to know, I trust their opinion. So if they had something good to say about people, I would definitely have no issue trusting that. But the other thing which I noticed is trusting someone's ability or work they produce is still very different than if I would trust to be like if I was gonna do a split with them and they were the full owner and I was reliant on them to split, then I start getting a little weary. And that's where if we had internal splits, I would kind of prefer that in a way. You know what I mean?
I just think that people need to do more contracts. For a large majority of the space, it's kind of just word of mouth and oh hey, I agree to pay you, and that's just not a very good structure.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, so this one is capture mech. You're in my capture zone. The other one is back here.
Yes. So most of these maps are FPS inspired. So I don't know if you play Call of Duty, but you might recognize a generalized layout.
Yeah, I actually never have.
You've never played Call of Duty?
Never played Call of Duty. I know.
What?
I know. All right, so here is my all right. So if I got your all right. So I'm trying to think what my my first-person shooter background would be. All right, so when I started, all right, I'm gonna date myself, but when I started, when I was in college, I was a big Mac person, and then after that, so one of the first-person shooters I was playing was Marathon, which was by the Bungie people before Halo.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I played Quake for a while, and then I played Unreal Tournament 2004. That was my go-to for a long time. And then I would say after Unreal, I went to Left 4 Dead. I played Left 4 Dead for a long time. And
Left 4 Dead is so much fun, especially with the mod, so I get that.
Yeah, and I think that was really it as far as shooters until I played until I started playing Fortnite. I played other games, between that, but I didn't really play any other shooters. So I played a lot of Unreal. I'm still waiting for someone to. I don't know if did you ever play Unreal Tournament?
I dabbled a little bit, but no.
Red wins. I wasn't even paying attention.
No, I'm sorry. I just sped through that so we could pick another one.
Yeah, that's all good. That looks really, really cool. I like the size of that layout, and I like it just seems like that one would flow really, really well. I think I would enjoy that a lot more than ballistics. But I think after I played what was I gonna say? After I played Left 4 Dead. Oh no! In Unreal, I played. Let's see. Let's check out.
I think you'll really like Elimination Confirmed. Oh, or Outpost. Outpost is pretty good. You want to do Outpost? Yeah, let's do that one.
Actually, Outpost. We'll do Outpost. It reminds me of Liability did one that reminds me of that also. I think one of his first maps. I remember. Unreal had a mode with vehicles, and it was kind of like a multiple capture the flag point. It was called Onslaught, and you had to capture... There was like 5 points between each base, and you had to capture each of the points, and then capture them all the way up until their base, and you could take over their base. I love that mode. It was really fun, and there were weapons involved, and a lot of vehicles. Like, you could drive tanks and everything. And I used to play that, especially when you were with a team. I think it was like 12 on 12 or something. But you needed a whole team to be really knowledgeable about the map and everything. And if we had people that we were playing with that didn't know the map, we would be yelling at them saying, "What are you doing? Or why are you there?" But it was a really, really fun thing. I'd almost wish something like that came out in Fortnite, but I feel like it would be hard to get that many people in the map on a regular basis. That's the one problem.
Yeah.
So, Frank in their chat was saying he likes the kill streaks, very COD inspired. Frank says, "I loved Unreal Tournament in college. Super fun. Oh, LAN parties. All right, let's see. Oh, you're probably all the way down.
If you come kill me, and then I kill you, show you something else.
All right. So you are awarding XP also, which is nice. All right, I'm down.
Then if I kill you,
nice.
You've got kill cards, so it displays your eliminations and your KD.
Okay.
And eventually it will show your levels and like your prestige.
Okay. Yeah, the map looks really nice. I like the the light, the light sand desert feel to everything. Everything seems really really consistent in the layout, which is nice. Oh, sorry.
Ooh, I'll get one. So it goes to 500. If you want, I can capture this point. We can get to the other one.
Yeah.
So with our elimination confirmed map, have you ever played like kill confirmed?
I don't think I have. Frank in our chat right now, he's like, "Oh, there's a kill confirmed mode." He goes, "That's my favorite mode." So I'm not familiar with any of these modes. So these are all kind of like COD inspired. You said, right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So give me the deets. What's the deal with it?
So typically with like a team deathmatch, it's based on your team kills.
Yeah.
But with elimination confirmed, when you are eliminated, you drop a tag.
Okay.
That floats on on your body.
Okay.
And it's up to the person who eliminated you to collect that tag to gain score for their team. And if they don't and say you come back and you take back your tag, you actually take away my score so I can't score it. So it's kind of like a fun, like, you can't just get a kill and, camp a spot. You have to actually physically go out and get that.
I got you.
It just promotes faster movement.
All right, so if you were like halfway across the map and I eliminated you, I would have to actually run all the way there, get your tag, and pick it up. But if you were really close and I eliminated you, the tag would be right there, and I could pick it up quick then.
100%.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's cool. I like that. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that mode at all. So, yeah. So again, while we're in this map, there you go. The map code is at the top of the screen if anyone wants to try to test it out, if you guys or anybody in chat. All right, that's cool. Did you want me to eliminate you, or?
Sure, you can go for it. Build every kill card.
All right, very cool.
Oh, if it didn't teleport. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So we've had an issue where it wouldn't teleport correctly, and so that's what's also coming out in this most recent.
Okay. And wait,
update.
so if it doesn't teleport, do you stay in the map then?
So you do stay in the map. All you have to do is just a manual respawn, and then it brings you back here.
Okay, all right. So you like go to the menu and like.
Right.
Wait, where am I going? Not problem. And hit the respawn. Okay, all right. All right, let's try.
Oh, looks like it's cargo again.
Oh, the elimination. Oh, nice. All right. So each of the modes swaps from each of the maps also. All right.
Yep.
Very, very, very cool.
So eventually we probably will allow for individual selection, but for right now, it is 4 maps and then 4 randomized game modes that could be selected between any of those maps.
Okay.
In the update that's coming out tomorrow, we're allowing a super vote, which if you gain a gold, which you get from getting kills, doing objectives, XYZ, then you can force a game mode. So if you're like, I've played Team Deathmatch 6 times, here, eliminate me.
All right, so let's. All right. All right. So okay. All right. So the key card is the collectible.
Yep. And so when you pick that up,
All right. So then when I pick that up,
boom, now you got a score.
All right,
and then
attack
if you
and
kill me again, and then I pick it up.
oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Boom.
All right. So
No scores.
So no score. Okay, that's really interesting. I kind of like that's interesting because I know people like you said, people could be, like you get a head snap, snipe you from like 50 meters away.
Yeah, someone's chilling right here. They've got a nice little head peek.
Right.
They're just chilling. They're not gonna win if
Right,
they don't
right.
get out and get that. So
Right. And now their teammate can't get it. It has to be them, right?
no, their teammate. So that is the thing. Your teammates can collect the tags, but they can also deny the tags as well. So
Okay.
it gets very chaotic very fast because this is a 6v6.
Okay.
So once you have full lobbies, like in this map specifically,
Yeah.
it gets crazy.
Okay, all right. So if I was sniping you from far away, if I had a teammate that was kind of in the area, you could be on comms saying, he's on the crate, go get the tag, and
Exactly.
all right. That's really interesting. I like that. I like that. So was this one? Did you guys hit discover with it? Was it getting plays?
So unfortunately, on our launch, we had a join in progress bug where if someone joined into the game, it completely crashed everything out for everyone.
Okay.
And would lock people into their game. So the
Oh.
only way to get out of it was to actually exit out of Fortnite.
No. Oh, all right.
So yeah, we had a very unfortunate launch. We were able to
Yes.
get that fixed. So we turned that into our soft launch. And
Okay.
now that we have all the different stuff coming out, we should have a new thumbnail. Like I said, we have all these brand new features. We're gonna have an updated kill streak
That's really cool.
system. All this different.
I couldn't resist. That's really cool.
No, all good.
That's really cool. Well, I see that you're rewarding XP already, so you're obviously getting enough plays. I am glad that they obviously made it's. You know what I find really funny? Epic obviously made changes on how XP is calibrated, because it used to be
Yeah, they lowered the threshold just
definitely
a little
lowered the
bit.
threshold, but people have been asking for things to be changed for a while, but it's not. They never came out and said it publicly. They maybe have hinted towards it sometimes, and I know a lot of other creators have. Like, we've noticed that some of our maps have gotten calibrated for XP when they never would have before. You know what I mean? With like only a few thousand
Right.
plays. But I'm kind of surprised that they don't talk more publicly about it. It's like any people that are doing glitchy XP maps, they're gonna know right away anyway, because they're gonna know that
Right.
stuff, and it's kind of good to know. I think that stuff is good to know. I wish they were a little more open about those things, because even though we've had a few of our maps get calibrated that way, I think for smaller creators, it's good to know that there's more of a chance that their map might be able to give XP.
I feel like it stems from moderation. Definitely, like I'm of the personal opinion that you should give all maps XP right off the bat.
I am with you 100%.
I feel like making it so that only certain maps are required to go through this kind of forced calibration, or
Yep.
if once they're calibrated once, they keep the calibration, but then maybe Epic has like an internal thing where they kind of test it, where if
Yep.
all of a sudden the XP gains too crazy, then they can come in and change it. But
Right.
the system where it's in right now, it's not super functional.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I've been too vocal about it, like on Twitter, but I've been posting about it on the dev forums, like almost since, I would say not day one, but probably since like month 2 or 3. I've been posting about it there, and on Twitter, I'm pretty vocal about that. I do think every map should give XP, and I think even if every maps were giving XP just time based until they were calibrated, I think most people would be happy with that. You know what I mean? Like
like just a base level.
Yeah, every 2 minutes you got like
100.
No, I
something.
like 1,500. You know what I mean? Like something that was an equivalent of like getting a few kills. You know what I mean? I think
Sure.
it would balance out. Like take a few maps and see what their average XP is. I know like Duos with Dad has been doing a lot of testing, and a lot of the maps are averaging between like 1,500 and like 5,000 per minute. You know what I mean? So give us something like that so people playing your map can see that, oh, every 2 minutes or so you're getting X amount of XP, and you don't feel like if you're playing a map that's not popular, you're not like penalized for that anyway. That's I feel very strongly about that, So
I think that as the space grows and evolves, they'll definitely change things. I think right now we've just got a lot of growing pains.
Without a doubt.
People are sometimes very vocal about
Yep.
that, and I'm like, look, you guys, they want us to succeed just as much as we want to succeed.
Yep.
I just think that I think a lot of people feel, I don't know, like it's disappointing to see like some maps, like if you put coins in the thumbnail or whatever, that they're obviously gonna get more plays.
Yep. I think some of that is the reality of the base players of Fortnite probably skews to the male and like that 10 to like 14-year-old, and XP is like people go crazy over XP. And I know there's a lot of other groups of people that don't fit within that stat, but XP is huge. And when you get like a lot of those glitchy maps or those coin maps, and you get like thousands of people in there, I think for the people that are putting out really good content or maps that take an enormous amount of time, it does get a little disheartening. You kind of like start second guessing yourself, saying these people are making lots of money doing a map that probably took a few hours to put togetger, and we spent
months of development time.
of like heavy duty dev time, and sometimes it's hard to get people in them to play. Now I know some of that is knowing your audience, that is true, but I do feel like when we're vocal about some of those things in a constructive way, because I think some people kind of go off the rails, and
oh, for sure,
yeah, and I think you need to keep it constructive, and you need to keep it polite, and you always have to
be open to different changes, and like changes
Yes.
that might not have been something you wanted to do
Yes,
or
yes.
the way you would have done it, but it's still an improvement on the ecosystem as a whole.
Yes, I agree. Oh, someone was saying they can't see the kill streaks because my head is in it. Let's see. Hold on, Frank. I'm gonna turn off my thing for 1 second so you could see. Those are all the. That's the UI stuff that my head was hiding. Frank was asking, how does the nuke kill streak work?
So when you hit 20 consecutive kills in a row without dying, it currently plays a splash that says so and so dropped a nuke for everybody in the lobby, and then you go back to the game.
Oh, that's cool.
We do plan on adding additional features to that. We just did not have enough time.
Okay.
With the custom rounds and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. And I think a lot of that stuff is good to, let the map go like this. You work out bugs and you improve it, and then you have a lot of leeway to add features as the map goes down.
But anyhow,
and that's just one of those things that it kind of allows us to figure out what players like.
And you'll never have to.
We've added a whole ton of analytic devices to this, so we get to see who's picking what map, who's picking what game mode, and you know, that
Hung the
map
sun,
combination as well.
Hung the moon.
Um,
Think you hang
and
the moon.
then
People think a lot of you, but
we're also looking at like what weapons people are
I
selecting.
found
We're
it,
looking at
and
how
I'm gonna put it
often
with
collectibles
my,
are being, you
Yep.
know,
kind of military
Yep.
picked up. There's just a lot
yeah, it just
of
reminded me
back end work that goes on.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
There is so much stuff, and the amount of
and so
the amount that a game can feel very different by small tweaks from those things is kind of crazy. You know, a small tweak
Right.
for some of those things could make the game go from just okay to really fun, or it can make a good game go like sour a little bit if you adjust it the wrong way. So that stuff does
Right.
take time, and it takes time, and it takes like a lot of players being there to play it, which, you know, a lot of us don't always have. You know what I mean? And you have to kind of go through that testing. So as people play it, you kind of learn and grow, and your map grows from that.
Right. Or you have like a tab taken away from you. Like that's what happened to our capture the flag. We were actually like top 5 for a
Yeah.
while. And
In the capture the flag tab, or
yeah.
okay.
And you know, they took that away, and then all
Blue team wins. Yeah, that does get rough. I must admit, I still don't really fully understand like the tabs, and it's rare that we have a map that is very much so a specific type of map. It almost never gets into the category that we think it would. You know what I mean?
right.
We're always, you know, like, why is it in this category? Like, one of the first maps that I did, which I continue to update, is a obvious red versus blue map. Okay.
I said that's what I played.
Do you want to show a different mode or anything, or? Oh, all right. I might have lost them. All right, I'm gonna go back to lobby. Don't forget to favorite and recommend. Wait. Oh, no, he's still here. Hold on.
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you for a second. Oh, it said. Oh, I think it said you left the party for a second.
Oh.
Oh,
although I will say I do have like 10 minutes. I'm so sorry that I was so short on.
No, we're good. I was trying to wrap stuff up a little bit right now, so I didn't want to keep the chats too long. So do you want to just really quickly we'll go back to lobby, and you could just talk about, we don't have to go into them, but you could just talk about some of your other maps if there's any that you kind of wanted to highlight really quickly.
Sure. We could do
Let's see. Yeah, and then we can kind of wrap up.
I would love to know from you what your biggest growing pain was in the space. What was like something that you were just like, oh my gosh, I had no clue this is what happened, and then like, how did you overcome that obstacle?
Yeah, I mean, for me, mostly, I would say, I would say just navigating Discover is still really the biggest obstacle, and I feel like every time that I begin to, especially, or you know, my partner Bob and I will talk about it stuff a lot. I feel like every time we start to think we're understanding a part of it, or maybe understanding how it's working. Yeah, it completely changed. Like there was like that last update, I think, with, you know, this last season when it came out, and Discover, in our opinion, drastically changed. You know what I mean? And we're like, I felt like we went back to the drawing. I feel like we were beginning to understand some things, and we would plan streams and plan different events for like a map to be released, because we would hope maybe it would come out in new and updated like within a few hours of releasing. And then all of a sudden, all of that changed, and we had maps that never appeared in main Discover at all. I would say that as someone who's thinking about this from like a business perspective, that was kind of like my biggest, and still is our biggest, you know, hurdle. But I would say for me personally, it's probably, you know, I'm not like a coder. Like I do more of the visual and materials and layout. So as an individual,
I don't know how you have a brain for that. That's
so yeah.
I've been trying to learn materials, and oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, so I let Bob does all of our verse, and we work out like mechanics together, and he'll, you know, work it up in verse, and then we'll come up with ideas, and I'll do all the layout and all the materials, and he'll work out all of our ranking systems. Yeah, it is, and I think I do think that you could, if you're no pun intended, versed in everything, you could be a solo dev, but it is hard. And even even with Bob doing all the verse and me doing all of my stuff, it takes a ton of time. So even if I could program, I don't. It would take so long to get something out the way I would want it to. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I would say overall, the biggest hurdle is probably navigating Discover and just really trying to figure that out. It's rough. It can be really, really rough. So.
Yeah, that's a fantastic answer.
Yeah, and again, I think it is the industry and UEFN itself is we're just like at the baby infant stage, but it's been almost 2 full years now. We're getting close to 2 full years.
Yeah,
and I'm glad we're here at the beginning of it, and I know it will get better and continue to grow. So I do have faith in that. I wish, again, overall, I wish people were just a little more
lenient
and
towards Epic.
Yeah. Well, especially through. I hate when people come down to any employee. Like Epic employees are just trying to do the best. They have their full-time job. They're trying to do what they're
Right.
they had. It's not like they're upper management that is controlling things. But
Yeah, it's the worst when you see them like post something like, "Look at how proud I am of this new system," and then like everybody's like, "I hate you and your family." It's like, oh my gosh, like
I know,
out.
I don't get it. And then also you get people like obviously I follow Tim Sweeney, and Tim will post something about something, and everyone's like, "Re-release the skin, please." It's like, you think Tim really wants to even see those comments, or he's probably not even speaking to people about that skin collab? You know what I mean? He's looking at big picture at this point. So. Yeah, it is that is upsetting when I see that stuff. I must admit. But
no, and that's the thing is more people come in, and I always believe that when the water rises, all boats float.
Yeah.
So we all help each other. We're all gonna get there eventually.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. At this point we're just trying to do even if we come up with a map design that is similar to something else, we try to put a new spin on it or our own touch on it and kind of push it beyond where it was before, at least. And that that's all really anyone can really do, is try to put their best foot forward, on the stuff they do. So all right, well, I'm not.
I don't. It starts with stuff like this. I would say thank you so much for having me on. I mean, honestly, this is such a great idea. I'd love to come back.
Yeah, I mean,
if invited.
Definitely. Yeah. You're more than welcome to. I'm hoping other people, anyone that watching that is a map creator, I'm hoping other people kind of reach out to me on Twitter and let me know if they're actually interested in coming on. I am going to try to do this. I think it will only help the community. I'm doing it because I think it will help me kind of reach out and get to know other map creators. And I just wanted to have some type of platform for people to come in and kind of, I think people enjoy talking about themselves and their own path and what they've done. And it's nice seeing what people have put together and how they've gotten there. So hopefully people are interested in I'm planning to do this every Friday, 20 minutes, a half hour, whatever it is. And if as long as people are interested, we'll keep on having people on. But I'd be happy to have you back on at one point also.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I hope the rest of your day goes well. And thanks so much.
Thanks, you as well.
Again, you guys give his creator account, give his Twitch a follow, and let's get up the Vibrant Realms. If you want to give them a follow as far as the creator, and then you'll be able to access all the maps, or at least the the map that we saw today. You can get to it, and any of the new ones. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Knight. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and have a good rest of the day. All right.
Sure, man.
All right.
Hit me up. We should run some.
Yeah, you got it. Oh, we will. We will.
All right.
All right.
Peace, brother.
Peace. All right, everyone. I think that went pretty well. GG's in the chat for Knight. If he's still here, definitely give him a follow on Twitch. That was really, really good.